Rahubat family. So in this lesson, we're going to be dealing with the actual first of the 9 forms in the structure called 9 grammar or Tas Nahwa. And it's called the Sahul Mudaare. Sahul Mudaare. And that means simple present. So the simple present tense, this form uses the AU vowels. And what I'm going to do as we progress in lessons is show you guys that predominantly the language is based on what we call 3-part verbs. And the 3-part verb is simply any 3 consonants that come together with vowels to form a word that shows action. If a person was to ask you like a word like go or come or sit or stand, like, hey man, what's the NUWAUBIK word for go? The form that presents that word is called the simple present. So, and you'll always notice that in the simple present, the vowels are AU and it's 2 syllables in pronunciation. So let's move forward. The simple present tense in NUWAUBIK is literally just a statement tense. This form is only used to make general statements. This is the most common form because it is the first aspect of a NUWAUBIK verb. It must be understood that NUWAUBIK is an Arabic-based Creole language and is based on its verb structure. In other words, once one learns the NUWAUBIK verbs in their various tenses, they can master the NUWAUBIK language. Notice in these 3-part verbs where the vowels are placed. Also note, in this lesson, I'm only using 3-part verbs or what is called regular form verbs. There are also what's called 2-part verbs and 4-part verbs, which are also referred to as irregular verbs. I will explain where to place the AU vowels in irregular verbs in a later presentation. So in this particular slide, family, I've written the 3-part verb on the left without the vowels, and right next to it on the right, I've placed the vowels where they go, and then I give you the actual meaning of the word. So let's pretty much study this list. So the first 3-part verb is in, T, G, or as it's pronounced in the NUWAUBIK pronunciation of the letters, ni, ti, gi, right? And so notice that the A goes between the first 2 letters and that the U is placed in between the last 2 letters. And the sound of that is a, u, which would make the word pronounced natug, natug. Now, I want to say this. In NUWAUBIK, just as in its parent language, Arabic, there are what's called hard and soft letters, which I actually have a PowerPoint based on that, but I'm just going to explain it here because I have you actually looking at the words. The hard or soft letters in Arabic are more numerous because of the script. In NUWAUBIK, we don't have the diversity that they have in the Arabic script based on the alphabet because our NUWAUBIK alphabet is different. Yet the same rule applies just with less letters. So the purpose of me telling you that is anytime you see a hard letter, the vowel that precedes it must be pronounced hard. And anytime you see what's called a soft letter, the vowel that precedes it must be soft. So in this case, we're only speaking about the vowel A and the short or long pronunciation. So N is considered to be a hard letter. So a hard A would be A as an opposite. A as an opposite, right? So that would be natug. Let's try it again with the next word. So this 3-part verb is Z, H, B, or Z, he, B, as pronounced in the teacher's guide to the NUWAUBIAN's language alphabet. So notice again to the right where the A and U are placed. The A is always placed in between the first 2 letters, and the U is always placed in between the second 2 letters, giving this word the pronunciation Zahub. Now, as I've explained with the previous word natug, you pronounce the A hard or soft based on the letter before it. So the letter before the A would be a Z. And if I pronounce the za, then and not za, then that means that the Z is what? Hard, which makes the vowel hard. And a hard A sounds like this. Ah, as in opposite. So that's zahub. Now this next word has a different sound towards the end because, and I've made a PowerPoint also about this, but I'm going to basically express it here. When two different letters come together, like UY, IY, EY, OW, UW, when those two letters come together, it creates a sound that in the visual way of saying it in English is not the same, but there is an English equivalent to it. So let's pronounce this word. Notice that the A is between the N and the D. As usual in three-part verbs, this is the normal format. And the U is in between the D and the Y. This word would be pronounced nadui, nadui, because UY is pronounced ui, ui, ui. So that's nadui. So we have natug, say or pronounce, zahub, go, and nadui, call. The next word has a double letter, which is the she letter. So it's SH, one letter, T, second letter, R, the third letter, or as it's pronounced in the NUWAUBIK pronunciation of our hurufat, our alphabet, she, ti, ri, she, ti, ri, right? And also remember, family, R's are always rolled, but the single R is a light roll, as opposed to if there's a double R, which is more harder. We'll deal with that in later lessons to come. So she, tiri, when you put the A and the U in their proper place, should be pronounced shator, shator, shator. Now, some people may pronounce the UR as an but that's improper because the U is U and the Ri is R. So it's or, as in like if we was to spell it in English, OR, shator. And this means to buy something or purchase. So this next one, I stuck it in there just to basically give you a little example of the guttural, the KH, the chi, right? Even though I usually take the GH, the KH, and the Ein letter and train you more at the end of the lessons, once when you get a little bit more confident in it. But I did put it in here today for just verbal purposes of you actually practicing and becoming familiarized with the different letters that's within three-part verbs. So in this three-part verb, we have T, B, chi, if we pronounce it in the NUWAUBIK harufat, T, B, chi. And when you place the A and the U in their proper places, remember, in three-part verbs, the A always go where? In between the first two letters. So that would place the A between the T and the B. And the U always goes where? In between the last two letters, which in this case, it would be the B and KH, right? And that would be pronounced tabuch, 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 which means to cook. Now notice this, family. That's not a buch because it's not a long oo as in a o as in a UW. A UW would be like ooh, ooh, right? It's not that, it's because the KH influences the vowel U. So that's tabuch. And that means cook. The next three-part verb is, and these last ones from 6 to 14, I'm going to actually pronounce it in the NUWAUBIK lettering As it's written in the teacher's guide, instead of saying the English KTB, it would be Key TB, Key TB. And when you place the A between the K and the T, and the U between the T and the B, the K is hard, so it's pronounced Katub, Katub, Katub. And this means right. The next three-part verb, pronouncing it in the NUWAUBIK harufat or the NUWAUBIK alphabet, we would say that these letters are he, ti, gi. He, ti, gi. The A goes between the H and the T. The U goes between the T and T and the G, and that's pronounced hatug, hatug, hatug. This means to need. The next three-part verb, ki, li, mi. A goes between the K and the L. The U goes between the L and the M, and it's pronounced kalum because the K is hard. So it makes the vowel A hard, and a hard A vowel sounds like what? Ah, as an opposite. Ah, as an opposite. Ah, as an option. So that's kalum, kalum. The next three-part verb, number 9, is fi, di, ni. Fi, di, ni. And the A goes between the F and the D. The U goes between the D and the N. And the F is soft. The F letter or the Fi letter is soft. So when you have a soft consonant, the vowel that comes after it, the rule is it must also be soft. So the A in this case would be pronounced soft as in a, as in apple, a, as in apple, not as an opposite, because that's hard, as in apple. So that's fadun, 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 which means free or to liberate. The next three-part verb is ni, zi, ri. Ni, zi, ri. Place the A between the N and the Z. Place the U between the Z and the R. As you've learned from the third three-part verb, nadui, ends are hard, so it makes the vowel A hard, and a hard sounding A would be ah, as an opposite. So this word would be pronounced nazor, nazor. And just as I've explained the UR pronunciation with the three-part verb in number 4, shator, UR is or, not never or. So that's nazor, and that means to look or to see. The next three-part verb, ni, fi, ni. Ni, fi, ni. Right? The A goes between the N and the F. The U goes between the F and the N. As previously stated, N's are hard, so the vowel A must be hard. A hard sounding A is as in opposite or option. And this word would be pronounced nafun, 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 which means to give. The next three-part verb is G, ni, bi. The letter J is said in NUWAUBIK, G. Not like the letter G in English, which is gi to us. G in NUWAUBIK is gi, and J is G, right? So G, ni, bi. When you place the vowel A in between the J and the N, and the U between the N and the B, J, like the letter F, is soft. So if the letter J is soft, the vowel A that precedes it or comes after it have to be soft. And a soft sounding A is as in after, apple, right? So this word would be pronounced janub, janub, janub. Notice that whatever the middle letter is, right, you actually pronounce that with the letters on the left of the word and the letters on the right of the word. And by this rule, we don't have any silent letters. Every letter must be pronounced. So you heard the N in Janub pronounced as Jan and then the Nub, Janub. So it all goes together, just like Fedun, Fedun, Fedun. Just like Kalum, Kalum. The L pronounces on the, I'm dealing with number 8 for this example. The L is pronounced on the left-hand side with the K and the A, and the L is pronounced on the right-hand side with the U and the M. So keep that in mind, family. The next word, another guttural, but it's just for familiarity purposes for you guys. Always remember in NUWAUBIK, when you see a SH, a GH, a TH, and a KH come back to back like this, that is one letter because it's pronounced as one sound. So that three-part verb is chi, bi, ri. Chi, bi, ri, right? And when you pronounce the A in between the K and the B, and the U in between the B and the R, the chi letter, or the KH in NUWAUBIK, is hard. It's actually what you call a guttural. And so that would be chabor, chabor. Why? Because hard A's sound like ah as an opposite, or ah as an option. So that's chabor, 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 and that means to tell. Number 14, we have the double letter in the middle of this one instead of at the beginning or the end. Number 5 gives the double letter at the end. Number 13 gives the double letter in the beginning, and this one gives the double letter in the middle. So you can see how double letters could be, you know, either first, middle, or last. So the three-part verb here is pronounced ri, shi, li. Ri, shi, li. And when you place the A between the R and the SH, and the U in between the SH and the L, you get rasul, 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 which means to send. Number 15. Now this particular three-part verb I wrote for a reason, because the UH sound, when it comes together, it makes a certain type of sound that a lot of people aren't familiarized with in the pronunciation of NUWAUBIK words. And I find it sometimes confusing for certain students that I have in my Facebook Learning NUWABIA class. And so I wanted to place that letter combination in one of the PowerPoints to give you an idea of how it was pronounced. So we have B, ni, he. B, the B letter, ni, the N letter, and he, the H letter. And when you place the A between the B and the N, and the U between the N and the U, the B letter is hard. So we pronounce that bana, bana, bana. So now this means to build. Let me explain a little bit about the UH. I'm sure most of us at some point in growing up, we got punched in the stomach and we made the sound when we got punched in the stomach. It's symbolic to that, right? Just not as hard. Bana, bana. Now sometimes people try to pronounce with the AH, but that's banah, banah, right? So AH doesn't make the sound, but UH makes the sound. EH makes the sound, and IH makes the sound. Right? So in this word, always remember that the UH is and it's a light so it's not bana. You don't have to say it hard. It's bana, bana. Number 16, three-part verb is li, mi, di. Li, mi, di. And this is When I'm saying this, I just want to give y'all a reminder that if you go to the teacher's guide, this is how the alphabets are pronounced. And also as a reminder, in the teacher's guide, it does not come equipped with the hard or softness of the letters, but because we grew up speaking the Arabic and we understand the influences of the letters to the vowels, we know that L's are soft, M's are hard, B's are hard, S's are soft. There are soft and hard letters in Arabic, and they give you those two letters, but NUWAUBIK doesn't come equipped with that, of course, because Creoles are simplified versions of a language. So let's go with li, mi, di. Place the A between the L and the M, the U between the M and the D, and the L is soft, so a soft letter makes a what? Soft vowel. And the A, when it's pronounced soft, is pronounced as a. A, as in apple, application, after, a. So that would be pronounced lemud, 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 which means to teach. Number 17, you have D, ri, si. Put the A between the D and the R, put the U between the R and the S, and you have darus, darus. Notice that the D in this letter, excuse me, the D in this three-part verb is hard, but notice the influence of the R pronounced with the syllable on the left and the right, darus. So you carry it, and it's like that with all of the three-part verbs or any NUWAUBIK word. It's just some words, whatever the middle letter is, have a harder influence where like the one sound, because you can't say da-rus. You can't say da-rus because da separates the D and the A from the R-U-S and doesn't connect the center letter, which in this case would be an R. So it's darus, darus, darus. And this means to study. 18, the three-part verb is si, we, gi. Si, we, gi. Place the A between the S and the W. Place the A between the S and the W. Place the U between the W and the G. And you have sawug, sawug. Now, AW is R, R, R. Some people pronounce it Sahul, Sahul, Sahul. I will say that it is interchangeable, but it should be Sahul, 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 because the S and the influence of the A in front of the W, S's are soft, but W's are hard. So you can't say Sahul, 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 because the A and the A has an effect on the W, which is always off. So Sahul. And that means to draw sawug or zawug if you taste something. So let's go to number 19. The three-part verb is fi, he, si. Fi, he, si. All right, so in this word, it's also like the word above because of the middle letter. We know that the F is actually soft, but the H is actually hard. And AH is always pronounced ah, it's an aspirant, ah. So when you place the A between the F and the H, and the U between the H and the S, is fahus, 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 fahus. And this is only because of the influence of the H. The A being placed before the H is always ah, ah, as in ahdor, ahdor, which is the NUWAUBIK word for come in the command tense. So fahus is how you would pronounce try. The next word, three-part verb is be, me, li. Be, me, li. B's are hard, so when you place the A between the B and the M, and the U between the M and the L, the word is pronounced bamul, bamul, which means to do, the verb to do. Next three-part verb. Ni, me, me. Ni is the N letter, me is the M letter, and the last letter is also me. Place the A between the N and the M, the U between the M and the M, and N's are hard, so it makes the vowel sound hard. A hard A is what? Y'all should know by now. Ah. And that word is namun, namun, which means to inform. Let's go to 22. So the three-part verb in 22 is li, gi, yi. Li, gi, yi. Now again, when certain vowels connect with certain other letters, it gives a special sound, a special specific sound like UY. And I've done this in the previous slide that UY means ui, or not means, it's pronounced ui, ui. So when you place the A between the L and the G and the U between the G and the Y, we know that L's are soft. So the letter would be lagui, lagui, lagui. 23. The three-part verb is ri, ki, mi. Ri, ki, mi. Place the A between the R and the K. The U goes between the K and the M. And that word is pronounced rakum. Why? Because the ri letter, R, is always hard. And it's always rolled. Rakum, rakum, which means to count. Number 24. Three-part verb is ni, si, ri. Ni, si, ri. The A goes between the N and the S. The U goes between the S and the R. N's are hard. Therefore, that word is pronounced nasor. Nasor. Always remember, UR is or, as in OR in English, or. Never never always or, nasor, which means to help. And this is the root word of the word ansar. The last word, or three-part verb is me, she, be. Me, she, be. Place the A between the M and the SH, the U between the SH and the B. The letter me is hard, so that's pronounced mashu, 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 and that means to walk. So just use this as a practice lesson and a visual also to notice that these are what's called regular verbs, right? And regular verbs are, it has actually 3 letters. There are such thing as 2-part verbs and 4-part verbs, but I'll do that in a different lesson. Wadu family.